Governor Wike, I put it to you. You've been so distracted with Rivers State that you've not. And you've been found wanting in paying attention to what is happening. In Abuja, let's call a spade a spade.
Hello, my great and wonderful people. We welcome you once again to our today's episode of this program. And today we get some videos and messages for our table when we say we want quickly the review to you concerning the things when we say it they happen right now for this country, Nigeria. Just as you rightly see one from the introduction, when it be say Rufai Oseni, the award-winning journalist from Arise News, they come us at this morning to also warn Governor Nyesom Wike, which is the former governor of Rivers State and present minister of Abuja. And before we leave you to watch that full message when it say Rufai Oseni sent across to Governor Nyesom Wike, we equally get this very message when it be say with the receiver from this group when it say that they call Serab and many other 20 others when it be say they carry Akpabio when it be the Senate President, Abbas and others enter courts because of the budget when it be say they release when it worth over 147 billion naira. And the title of this one says Serab, 20 others sue Akpabio, Abbas, others for the way when it be say that they increase their own budget by 147 billion naira. All right, for you to understand the full details of this lawsuit when it be say these people carry out against the Senate President Akpabio and also the Speaker of House of Representatives when it be say Nimna Abbas, you will listen to one documentary very soon. I beg before then, I beg help us to like this video, because the more you like this video, the more YouTube they recommend that to people. Now their own policy now in this very one. Thank you so much for your support. Now pay attention to this very one. We'll come back for more.
Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and 20 concerned Nigerians have filed a lawsuit against the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas. The group is suing the lawmakers for unilaterally and arbitrarily increasing the allocation for lawmakers from 197 billion naira to 344 billion naira, an addition of 147 billion naira, their highest since the return of democracy in 1999. Mr. Akpabio and Mr. Abbas were sued for themselves and on behalf of all members of the National Assembly. The lawmakers had last month raised their allocation from 197 billion naira proposed by President Bola Tinubu for them in the budget to 344 billion naira. The lawmakers will in total draw 514 billion naira from the 2024 budget. The lawmakers also in 2023 increased their own budget from the originally proposed 169 billion naira to 228 billion naira. In the suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/68/2024 filed last Friday at the Federal High Court, Abuja, the plaintiffs are asking the court to determine whether the lawmakers, in the exercise of their powers over appropriation/money bills, can unilaterally increase their own budget without the representation of the budget by the executive. The plaintiffs are asking the court for a declaration that the National Assembly, in the exercise of its powers over appropriation/money bills, cannot unilaterally increase its own budget without the representation of the budget by the President in line with Section 81 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999, as amended. The plaintiffs are asking the court for a declaration that the action of the National Assembly, unilaterally increasing its own budget from 197 billion to 344 billion naira, without the representation of the budget by the President, is a breach of the democratic principles of separation of powers and checks and balances. The plaintiffs are seeking an order of perpetual injunction restraining and preventing the National Assembly from unilaterally increasing its own budget in the exercise of its powers over all appropriation/money bills, without the representation of such appropriation/money bills by the President in line with the Nigerian Constitution. In the suit, the plaintiffs are arguing that, allowing the National Assembly to continue to unilaterally and arbitrarily increase its own budget would fundamentally undermine the letter and spirit of the Nigerian Constitution, public trust, and the rule of law. The plaintiffs are also arguing that the arbitrary and self-serving increase by the lawmakers of their own allocation offends the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, 5th Schedule Part 1, of the Nigerian Constitution, Oath of Office, and the democratic principles of separation of powers and checks and balances. According to the plaintiffs, unless the relief sought are granted, the National Assembly will continue to breach the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution and the rule of law, and at the expense of millions of Nigerians living in poverty. The suit filed on behalf of Serap and 20 concerned Nigerians by their lawyers Kolowo Olyowode and Andrew Nwankwo read in part, members of the National Assembly are public officers who have sworn the constitutional oath of office to perform their respective duties in the interest of Nigerian citizens. The members of the National Assembly, by unilaterally and arbitrarily increasing their own budget in the Appropriation Bill 2024, without the representation of the budget by the President, has violated the Code of Conduct for Public Officers. Paragraph 1 of the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, which provides that a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflicts with his duties and responsibilities. Members of the National Assembly have put their interest above the public interest and well-being and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, contrary to their oath of office. It is a necessary implication of the rule of law that, except where the law gives a discretion to a public functionary, he can only act in accordance with the law, as to do otherwise may enthrone arbitrariness. The increase and insertion of line items in the Appropriation Bill 2024 by the National Assembly is not commensurate with the constitutional commitments to public services and goods, decreasing public revenues and increasing level of public debts, and the poor economic and social realities in Nigeria. The President presented the Appropriation Bill 2024 made up of 27.5 trillion naira to the National Assembly on November 29, 2023. The National Assembly on December 30, 2023 passed the Appropriation Bill 2024 in the sum of 28.7 trillion naira. That while exercising its legislative powers, the first and second defendants increased the Appropriation Bill by 1.2 trillion naira, wherein the first and second defendants unilaterally increased allocations made to the National Assembly in the Appropriation Bill 2024 presented by the President from 197,932,625,616 billion naira to 344.85 billion naira. The President signed the 28.7 trillion naira Appropriation Bill 2024 into law on January 1, 2024. The 2024 budget is in deficit of 9.18 trillion naira. The Budget/Appropriation Act 2024 is yet to be gazetted as at the time of filing this suit, and public access to the gazetted 2024 Budget/Appropriation Act is restricted. The National Assembly, after inserting new line items to the Appropriation Bill 2024 and altering the budgetary allocation to already inserted line items, did not submit same to the President for representation by the President before going ahead to present the Appropriation Bill to the President for assent. No date has been fixed for the hearing of the suit.
All right, my great and wonderful people, I believe so una don't hear the whole details of the suit when it be say Serap and other 20 concerned Nigerians file against Akpabio when it be the Senate President and also the Speaker of House of Representatives when in name na Tajudis Abbas. All right, because of time, I will leave you to share your own opinion with us on the comment section with the wait to hear the result of this lawsuit. Not be just to come outside to write letter to the courts. Now result na in matter. Now, I will quickly leave you to listen to this very message when Ibise Rufai Oseni sent across to Governor Nyesom Wike, the present Minister of FCT, and the reason behind this very message. I'll come back for more.
The chairman of Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, Samuel Wike, was seen in a viral video accusing the governor of the state, Sim Fubara, of not achieving anything as governor of the state since he took over from Wike on May 29th, describing him as a foolish governor. He also alleged that Fubara is the one sponsoring kidnappings in the FCT.
I told the chairman of our party that the only way that you can stop me from talking is when the likes of Chijioke is sent by Similai Fubara to stop insulting Wike. When they insult Wike, I will insult Fubara. So today, Fubara is a foolish governor. He's not a new governor. He's a foolish governor. Because since he took office, May 29, he has done nothing for Rivers people. When the man when he took office, from the first of office, started Operation Zero Port Road. From there, started doing project. When the man in the first 3 months in office, did the proper internal road. Fubara should tell us what project has he done? Other than carrying our money and paying bribe to insult Wike, he's paying people to go and tell Abuja that Wike is playing politics in Rivers State, that they are doing kidnapping in Abuja. It means that Fubara is part of those supporting the kidnapping in Abuja because he wants us to get to the world. Let's go with running office.
All right, political insecurity. And now Fubara is the one sponsoring kidnappers. Over to you, Rufai.
I think the recklessness of politicians have become so insensitive in this country.
Absolutely.
And I think this politician, this local government chairman, should apologize to the Nabena family, a girl that came out with a first class, that ought to be having a convocation 3 days from now, I hear, on the 27th, but was killed by kidnappers. I think it's a big indictment on this politician, and he should check and examine himself. How more are we going to bring the issue of politicking into things? You're not even stating the fact. Say Fubara has not done anything. That's a lie. Fubara commissioned the hospital that I saw with my eyes. It was live on television. Also, Governor Wike, because of his own interest, had made the state ungovernable for the man. You can see that which governor signs the budget into law, and they're now saying the court is saying go back and resign the budget. And the effrontery for a local government chairman to talk to a governor like this. Anyway, it is the Fubara that has put himself like that. You know, the Yorubas have a saying that something back be nation le, dear Maguri, have you Dr. Abati? It just means is that when you are already rock bottom,
Yeah.
people that have no impetus to talk to you will mess you up. And that's what is happening. That a local government chair in a state where the governor is king has the effrontery to put all sorts of verbiage out against the governor. So it's Fubara's fault, and that's why we keep telling him, if you don't stand tall, you get insults. Secondly, as regards Governor Wike, I put it to you, you've been so distracted with Rivers State that you've not. And you've been found wanting in paying attention to what is happening. In Abuja, let's call it spade a spade. Most weekends you are out. It took you how many days to set up the consultative forum that you had with the so-called communities as regards things were involved. And this is what a lot of people around are saying. Till date, the Labour Party senator of FCT struggled. She's not been able to see. She's been crying that she wants to see him. If for anything, discuss about what is happening. And I put it to Governor Wike, give us empirical facts. That is, politicians that want to disrupt things, those are the ones that are sending bandits to go and kidnap people. Didn't you hear the ransom they paid? Didn't you hear what the people went through? Why are you very insensitive like this to the plight of people? So for you to face and do what you ought to do, then you are blaming everything on politicians. Nobody out there is trying. If you have intelligence and politicians want to destabilize President Tinubu's administration, he who alleges must prove. We put it to you, give us the intelligence reports.
He who alleges must prove.
What is all of this?
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe you don't see political gangster. People want to be said they're supposed to day for park, where by all means grab power. That one a local government chairman na income side for the same state they insult the governor, all because of say the person when they be say una want pay allegiance to or loyalty to say this man push him away, which is Governor Nyesom Wike. Now in position una, now in make una get the authority or audacity, they talk to governor like this. It's very, very obvious in Nigeria. I don't know if we say this country be like waiting, it not will work again. It will be like say we they lose faith. We believe, say it will still work. One day be one day, all these things will roll away like cotton. All right, so talking concerning this matter, we'll leave you to share your own opinion with us in the comment section, even as we draw the line of this very broadcast here. We'll see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.